99.9 Punk World Radio FM. We are live across the board right now. We are joined by Kimberly, British Columbia, Canada's own. We got Bailed right here live on the radio. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Very good, man. Thank you.
Doing all right.
Guys.
Awesome.
I gotta say, I'm loving what you guys have been doing in the punk rock community. You guys are absolutely tearing up stage after stage. Honestly, I'm really excited just to learn a bit more about you guys tonight, and of course, hear what is to come. Man, you guys are absolutely killing it so far.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a road here, but it's progressed pretty naturally, organically, and that's the way you want to do it when you're playing music, right?
And also as well, because I do know, obviously, you guys are Bailed. You guys are a phenomenal band. But before that, we got to talk a little about the history and what got you guys to this band. But you guys' previous project was the Gorbies. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and you guys now formed this phenomenal band. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the beginning of that and what made you guys decide to transition into Bailed.
Joe, you want to take that?
Yeah. So the Gorbies, for anybody who doesn't know what a Gorby is, we live in a ski town here in BC, and Gorby is a slang term for somebody who kind of sucks at skiing. So all those novices on the hills that kind of don't do so well, and you kind of want to get away from them, those are the Gorbies. So we started a band. This was kind of we started with another guy named Jeff, and he it was his vision to do this funny band about being bad skiers and having yard sales on the mountain and stuff like that. And his name was the Gorbies. So we started off on that. A lot of our songs were based on, those extreme sport wipeouts that you had. We threw goggles into the audience and just had a blast on stage, writing funny songs about like, I can't ski, or when I ride, I only ride bitch. And so some of those songs were great, and we loved that vibe. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a difference artistically with Jeff, and we had to part ways, but it didn't feel right still taking that name from him, because he came with us with that name, and we really respect him as an artist and a punk rocker. And so we decided, hey, you have the Gorbies. That is always a moment in time that we can look back on and say, hey, we did this. But we wanted to kind of start fresh, but stick with that kind of vibe, because we love those extreme sports. We love skating. We love snowboarding. So we decided, hey, Bailed, kind of like you bailed off a snowboard, bailed off a skateboard, go with the same kind of vibe, still talk about extreme sports, but leave that kind of adventure in the Gorbies as its own separate thing and not taint that journey.
Absolutely. Yep.
And one last question about the Gorbies as well, because I do know as well, you guys, just as the Gorbies, you guys did some phenomenal things as well. But are there any unreleased Gorbies music that you guys are a part of that might still potentially get released, or is that just completely something you're like, you know what, that's done, over with, now we're on the topic of Bailed?
Well, I think with the Gorby stuff, when we had joined the band and the vision, there was already, in terms of collaboration, we had, Joey as the keyboardist originally and vocalist. And so he participated in a lot of the vocals that had happened originally with the Gorby. So, I mean, he's taken that place with Bailed. With the Gorbies, we had two vocalists. So one was the guitarist, Jeff, and he also sang. So he had a big part of it. Some of the Gorby stuff that we ended up using collaboratively, and I would say Joey had a big influence or part of it. We ended up taking a few of those songs and used them in Bailed, which actually have transitioned quite well, I might say, right? But yeah, with the Gorby stuff, I don't know if we would. I know I've spoken to Jeff about the Gorby stuff, and he has his own kind of like little vision of what he's trying to do on the side. But some of the stuff that has been written, I would like to just kind of. It would be nice to compartmentalize that stuff and like maybe have some release of it so that it's not completely put away for nothing. Because we did organically, just like the fellas that I have now, this band, organically, it just works. And when you find musicians like that, where the music just works and you aren't forcing things and pushing things, I think that's the best way to make music. So I do hope that we do get some Gorby stuff out. You'll be the first to know for sure.
As of yet, we have nothing out. So
no, we do have a lot of demo type of recordings though from live. As the Gorbies, we did play with the Core from Vancouver, a well-known punk band, and that show went over really well. But as of right now, we did, it was a short, kind of lived, very quick project. And for a project like that to have 11 songs that we wrote in 6 months or so, that was quite a defeat for us, right? Like we were able to get a lot of music organically done that way. But yeah, you'll be the first to know if we get some Gorby stuff out.
And also as well, speaking of just music and whatnot, March 26, 2025, you guys revealed via Instagram that new music is on the horizon with a song called Do a Kickflip. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this song, and of course, when will the actual song be released to the general public?
Okay. Joey?
Yeah, I mean, Do a Kickflip was, I can't actually kickflip, unfortunately, but
Raz can.
It was a recording from a garage about a year ago in June, I think. And as kind of the Gorbies died and Bailed rose from those ashes, we had a gig at one of the biggest kind of venues that you can play locally in Kimberly, which is our Spring Splash, our this end of year ski party, the big stage. If you saw our Do a Kickflip live on Instagram, that's where we played. Do a Kickflip was at the Spring Splash. So about 3 weeks before this Spring Splash happened, I was looking through all my notes saying, okay, Gorbies is dead. We were originally going to play Spring Splash as the Gorbies. We want to play it as Bailed, but I only have about 4 or 5 songs that I can take from the Gorbies that I primarily, it was my vocals and my stuff that I felt comfortable taking it and not kind of stealing from Jeff. So looking through all the recordings, it was like this just over a G chord. I was yelling, do a kickflip, do a kickflip. And that just made it onto the list. Was okay, that can become a song. And
the funny thing about that song now, anytime that we play it live, most of the time, majority of the time, for the audience that does come, there'll be some skateboarder that comes. And before we actually start the song, we tell somebody, grab a skateboard for this song. We start the song off, and usually with the kickflip, that's a part of it. So there'll be boarders out there doing kickflips while we play that song. It's rad.
Yeah, the bars may not like it that much, but all right.
All that I have to say is you guys should definitely send this to Tony Hawk when you guys get out of the studio and finish it, because I'm telling you, I think Tony Hawk will eat that up, because he had a whole bit that he used to do. He used to drive around and yell at people, do a kickflip, and if he did a kickflip, he would just give you some free shit.
Yeah, give you a new skateboard or something, right? A board. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That was the inspiration. The first verse is all about how I'm driving around in my car yelling out the window saying do a kickflip. So it's probably one of the we're trying to get an EP released here. I mean, having the rebrand definitely takes a little bit financially, right? We kind of took all of the money we made from shows from the Gorbies and had to reinvest into new name, new merch, new logo, that kind of stuff. But now that we're playing more shows, we're getting the cash flow again. We're looking at putting out an EP. Kickflip is number 1 on that EP for sure.
Yeah.
And before we move on the topic of this song as well, when you actually yelled at anyone to do a kickflip, do they ever get pissed off? And I'm asking this because I encountered something crazy. My old professor in college actually brought his skateboard in to the classroom one day, and I'm like, do a kickflip, and he absolutely went ape shit pissed off. I don't know if that was the first time I ever yelled do a kickflip, and that was the first time I ever got my face chewed off. So I don't know, wrong place, wrong time, I guess.
Maybe it's because we kind of elevate the song slowly, and it just kind of cushions people to going, okay, I think I hear you. I hear what you're saying. all right, you're telling me to go do a kickflip. Oh, okay, sure, I'll listen. But yeah, no, it's been pretty good.
Or
We've
your
had
professor can't do a kickflip.
I will admit I don't think he can. But I mean, I was a joke. I was in the back of the class being that clown. I'm like, do a kickflip, and he's like, who the fuck said that? And I'm like, oh shit. It was communications class as well, so it looks like he did not have proper communication skills.
no.
How
But we
ironic.
got guys trying to kick flip in like flip flops at our shows nowadays, and if they don't make it, the crowd still cheers for him. And so, if your professor wants to show up to our next gig and try a kick flip, there's no judgment. No judgment.
Also, though, speaking of shows as well, June 13th, 2025, so just weeks ago, you guys took the stage alongside TBD, To Be Determined, at the York Country. I was wondering, what was it like just sharing the stage with TBD? And of course, did you guys get a chance to kick it with them before or after the show? Because they're another phenomenal punk rock band as well.
Yeah, that one was a little bit of a tough show. TBD joined in later on. We were the headliner for that show was Haters. They're an Australian punk rock band that flew on over on a Canadian tour. I talked to a buddy out in Nelson who's a promoter, as that's kind of also my side gig doing promoting, and we were able to get them to come to Cranbrook to do a show, and at the last minute, I think the day before, was it the day before, guys? The day before, or 2 days before? I think it was the day before. There was an emergency with family, so the vocalist had to fly back to Australia. Regardless, the show went on. It still went very well. I mean, I think we had, I don't know, 60 people there. Everyone rocked out and whatnot. But TBD is like a great fast punk. Like, you're talking punk, that's the band to go to. They're great. It was nice sharing the stage with them, but again, there was illnesses. So I know the vocalist guitarist right away, he said, I'm sorry, I can't stick around. I got to get back. My kid's been puking all night. It's super punk rock, right? I gotta go, guys. But the show went phenomenal, actually. It was great. Everyone stuck around, and it was a good crowd. Everybody, like I said, skateboards were there. People were doing kick flips. It was great.
It definitely sounds like a phenomenal time. I really hope you guys get a chance to slide on down to like Montreal or even Ottawa or even Toronto sometime, man, because I gotta say, we definitely need some killer punk rock like that down here. I know Montreal's filled with it, but you can't go wrong with more.
Hell yeah. I have my brother's out in Cambridge, and there was some bands in the past that I used to be in, so I have a lot of connections for touring around Canada, and that's something that we definitely look forward to try to do. This is just the beginning for Bailed, so yeah, we're getting out there.
And do you guys have any other shows currently on the horizon that is locked in? That way the fans of you guys can actually come on out and maybe do a kickflip or attempt it, even if you fail, or even if you bailed while doing the kickflip, who knows? But do you guys currently have any shows available right now?
We got one that I'm really excited for. I talk about the Spring Splash in Kimberly. If anyone's been to Kimberly before, you've probably heard about July Fest, and this is the it's the biggest bocce tournament in, I think, Western Canada. I would say that it's a huge bocce tournament. People come from all around, and the hotels book up a year in advance. So there's a big stage, and it's a whole weekend, a big festival. We're playing that. That is on July 19th. So we're really excited for that. Amazing stage. I think there was like 60, 70 bands that applied, and only 12 got accepted to play. So we are the local boys holding down the stage at July Fest. People
getting that energy going.
We're going to bring the energy for sure. That's what we're excited for.
And we also have a fan question as well from JT. He wants to know, what is the one place that you guys would love to perform if given the opportunity? It could be anywhere around the world, I'm assuming.
Anywhere around
Wembley.
I've been really into the German EDM, so let's do something in Germany.
You know what?
But
Europe is, or even Europe or Japan.
Sao Paulo.
Japan has an awesome punk rock scene, and I know Europe has an amazing metal punk scene too, where everyone shows up. And with the punk and metal community, for anybody that's listening, you would also relate to it. It just seems it's a community, right? Where it doesn't mean rebellion. It just means that maybe you've been outcasted, or maybe you've felt out of place at times, but it's just the community that fits with you, you know? And yeah, that's why we resonate with that.
in all honesty, we probably most likely will play in this boy's hometown, go to Australia at some point, party with his family, get a little tour down there going. And then I know Ken has been working on some Costa Rica tours, maybe, or
Yeah.
down
So that's my homeland there, Costa Rica, and I have some friends that are in a punk rock band. They're trying to get out here to Canada to do a small Western Canada tour, and they said, "Hey, if you can help us doing something here, we'll help you do something in Costa Rica." And I said, "Hey, let's do it." So Costa Rica might be in the works for probably, I don't know, maybe next summer.
And also as well, guys, what's next for you guys? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the radio station airwaves tonight.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing for us right now is we do have a SoundCloud. There is I'll throw some quick demos on there. Not a big deal, just so you can hear what we're doing. We've wanted to kind of wait until we have some professional studio stuff done, and which we are in the works of. But for anybody that's done studio stuff, it usually takes time, mixing and mastering. So yeah, look out for that in the next few months. And I mean, you can go to the SoundCloud. It's a Bailed Band, and we'll have some stuff up there. Yeah.
And before we actually part ways here tonight, guys, I was actually wondering. Actually, we have 1 second. We have a fan question popped right in from Sierra Crawford. Can I get the lead singer's number? I mean, I couldn't leave her hanging before wrapping things up. So make sure you write that name down, and make sure you give her your number.
Sierra,
Give her my number.
Yeah, I'll I'm actually a taken man. I'm sorry. I have a partner back home, so I'm gonna have to politely
say I'm taken.
I'm taken.
Well,
Thank
there
you.
goes
Taken
half
by the
our
band.
female fan base.
Well, you know what? I feel like right there, I want to say, if your partner is watching, I'm the one that brought that up. Don't give him trouble.
Yeah. DJ Immortal really broing down there.
Hey, I'm trying my best here, man. At the end of the day, a person that's been in relationships and whatnot, a person that's currently taken myself, I get that. You know what I mean? I get it. You got to at least hold the fort down, and I don't want to get no one in trouble mid interviews, especially spousal problems, man. God damn. We already know how some women are, man.
Oh, absolutely.
But guys, before we part ways here tonight, I will say no more bringing up getting potential numbers here. But with that being said, how can people follow you across all social media platforms? That way they can stay updated on new music, shows, and everything you guys currently got going on.
Yeah. Okay. So we have our Bailed Band on Instagram, Bailed Band on SoundCloud. Like I said, we'll have some uploaded music very, very soon on there, but it is an open platform for the band right now. You can contact us by email as well, bailedband@gmail.com. And yeah, that's, for the most part, I think we have most of each other's personal links attached to that too. And that's where you'll find most of our updates right now. As well as on Facebook, we also have Bailed Band. Everything is Bailed Band. So just look at Bailed Band and you'll find us on those platforms.
And I got to say, guys, first and foremost, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways a bit of your time. It was such an honor speaking with you four. And hopefully down the line when new music does come out, and get you guys back on the radio station and do this all over again. But for now, have yourselves a phenomenal night out there in British Columbia.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for having us on. We really appreciate it. Thank you for finding us, and we really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. And when the music gets polished up and is done in the studio, definitely shoot me the files there via email, and I'll get you guys some airplay as well. If you send it, we here at Punk World Radio FM, we definitely are going to spin it.
Sweet.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
You're most certainly welcome, guys. Have yourselves a phenomenal night.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Have a good one.